What is going on?
I gotta tell you, man. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, man. That song that you chose for the intro music, it's standard like 4 bar blues rock,
Right.
but it's grown on me over the years, man. I hear it and I'm
Yeah.
just like, mm. I mean,
Yeah, it
it's
gets
not like being on Beale Street exactly, but
not
you know,
exactly like that now.
yeah. Oh, is it that bad now?
Oh man. Oh man. So we gotta, hopefully we'll make this interesting tonight. We got Angler of the Year in the background. He's sitting there ready to come in.
Cool.
Winter Series champion, whole 9 yards. We got Stephen Bell out there already.
Stevie B, I saw Steven and I were jumped in on the other Steven from KKOA,
Mhm.
Country Kid Outdoors. He had Drew Gregory on his podcast last night. It was a really good show.
Nice. Nice. All right. Cool. Let's bump this up and bring Brian on in here. What is happening?
What's going on, fellas? Y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
How you doing, big man?
Good.
That's good, man. That's amazing. Looks like you're ready to go fishing. What are you wearing?
Dude, I've been wrangling little kiddos trying to get them in bed all night. It's just a little hoodie. I let the dogs out just a minute ago.
All right. I was gonna say, man, you look you gonna go catch 24.
Heck yeah. Oh, man. So you had a heck of a 2025. What
Yeah,
was
I
your,
had a solid year.
what was your plan going into 2025? Did you have goals and stuff that you got to meet, or what was the deal?
Not really, man. I mean, I kind of take it one event at a time. Just and I just fish day by day. I mean, obviously, the week before I'll try and get one practice day in. I normally fish one day a week. I think I've said that before. Normally on Saturdays, so I'll practice the weekend before, and then get ready for the event the following weekend. But I really didn't have any. I pretty much um, met all my goals, I guess you could say. But
Sorry.
just trying to win every event. I mean, that's my main goal. I mean, have fun doing it. I mean,
Right.
obviously, if I'm not having fun doing it, I wouldn't be tournament fishing. So.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Um, Let me ask you, since we were just mentioning that Drew Gregory was on uh, Country Kid Outdoors last night, and I was listening to Drew, and I hear it in some of what you say sometimes, Brian, because known you for a while. I talked to you at the ramps, and then we talk offline too. Um, is there any prep that you do that's not on the water? Do you do map study? Do you look at navionics? Do you read up about forage bases, stuff like that?
Yeah, and I do a lot of map study. I do a lot of reading up on the lakes. And I've got a lot of history on a lot of bodies of water around here too. I mean, I've been fishing pretty much my whole life, but serious fishing, I started probably about 16, 17 with my uncle. Um,
Hmm.
and pre-tournament though, I mean, I watch a lot of the weather. I'm starting to learn though now, like water temps are kind of like with the new technology. I mean, water temperature really doesn't play as much as you think it does on certain bodies of water and certain depth. But that's a whole different other subject. But like getting like on each tournament, I do a lot of map study. I kind of mentally plan which spots I'm gonna hit before the tournament day. Like I kind of play the day through my mind, and and I'll make adjustments as I go. But I kind of have a game plan before entering the event.
Hmm.
but and we do fish a lot of the same water, so a lot of times, those big bass or the bigger fish tend to hang around the same areas every year, depending on water fluctuation. I think that's another big key. Um, and moon phase, but and wind too. I mean, I like a good wind. But yeah, I do a lot of map study. I do.
Mm, interesting. Yeah, just wondering how you approach it. Obviously, it's not just one thing. Every successful tournament angler has to have like a few different like tools in the toolbox. Like you got to, pay attention to weather, understand how it affects fish. But then, water levels and the stuff you were talking about, forage base and things like that. That's interesting. The whole question of like history and how well we know some of these lakes. Like in my mind, I can see the lake underwater. Like
Yeah,
I've thought so much about certain lakes that in my brain I can put myself in the fish point of view and see what's happening and try to visualize it from that other perspective. Um, but I found something. This is a little off topic, but talking about how the weather affects things. Um, I was out on the hall the other day. I noticed this at McIntosh last year. I noticed it at Falls. That tropical storm Chantal just has completely changed some of the skinnier water in the rivers around here.
yeah,
Um, so that I found myself at a disadvantage at times because it felt like the fish just got washed out, like they just got pushed all the way out, and they were
yeah,
just starting to come back in. So I think it also depends on where you are in the lake, how certain types of weather events, they don't affect the whole lake in the same way. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. And a lot of it's mental game too and confidence.
Hmm.
I mean, if you like, there's certain lakes where I'll go into where I feel really confident if it's certain times of the year, especially pre-spawn. I mean, March is probably my better month as far as catching big bags. February and March, but like over the winter, like I told myself I wanted to do something different this year. I wanted to get away from the spots and kind of chase largemouth this winter and figured some things out.
Hmm.
Nice. Now, I know before you got forward facing, you loved brush piles, throwing a jig. You
Yeah,
were
and I still do.
successful. You were successful in the club previously doing that, and now you're doing it.
Yeah,
You just have forward facing helping you out a little bit more, right?
yeah.
So, what's that change like going from 2D to forward facing?
I mean, how fish set up, and then another thing, like just noticing that the water temperature really doesn't affect fish as much as people do think they do or think it does.
Hmm.
Okay, so it's probably affecting fishermen on top of the water more than it's affecting the fish.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. I noticed that guy because when I fished Harris before a few years back, I first couple of winters I was really focused down here on fishing the winter stuff and getting the big ones over at Harris. It was surprising that the biggest fish I caught was in March. It was like beginning of March. Water was cold, but she was in 3 foot of water.
Yeah,
And then I caught another one that was probably in like 4 feet of water. And then I'm out in the middle of, in like 20 foot, but the fish is hovering in like 10.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So,
surprising how skinny they'll get in that cold water.
yeah.
Hmm.
And
Oh yeah.
I think last winter I was fishing a few winter events that we did. And the big fish I caught were shallow. They weren't deep. I know a lot of guys go that deep brush pile stuff, which I do sometimes too. But
Hmm.
yeah, I did a 1.5 square bill thrown to the bank and caught a 5.5. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, one reason they do that, and I just was reading about it in Bassmaster. One of the elites was talking about this. Um, they just go there to warm up.
Yeah.
They're just sunning themselves because
Sunning. Yeah.
that shallow water is going to warm up more in the afternoon and more quickly. So they go there and they sun themselves. So the other day when we were all fishing the winter series, I didn't judge the event, but I was looking at my fish and what some other people were posting. and I could see, like, you could tell, like, some of those fish, they're not as pale as they were a month ago. They're starting to come up. The colors are getting darker, and I noticed that on some of my fish. I was like, wow, look at that. Um, these fish are starting to move up, even though the water, well, where I was, it was in the 50s.
And
But
I will say this, like after getting forward facing sonar too, a lot of people probably don't talk about this much either. Like fish will move up, and that doesn't necessarily mean on the bank. Like you'll see giants just cruising 2-3 feet under the water.
mm,
Um, Now that could also mean that they'll be on the bank doing the same thing. But I told myself coming into this winter, because I've notoriously chased spots in the winter. I've gone winter series fishing. I told myself I'm going to learn how to catch them on a minnow. Like I coming up to this winter, I had no idea how to do that. Like I did not. Um, and I figured it out pretty good. But
yep,
like some of the biggest fish just cruise a foot, 2 foot under the surface of the water, and it's pretty crazy. And I kind of translate that to the bank too, what I know on the bank. So like I didn't necessarily catch all my fish on a minnow this winter, but I learned how to use that, have that technique. I mean, you get beat by something so many times, just like throwing a. I mean, I got beat on a jig so many times. Even being on the boat with my uncle, he just spanked me every time with throwing a jig. I want to learn how to throw a jig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, they'll get up under, even like in the middle of the lake on top of the channel. They'll just sit up under on the top of the surface of the water
yeah,
just to
Yeah.
get warm.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm such a stickler for things like noise in the kayak. Like, I try to keep it as quiet as possible for
Yeah,
exactly that reason. I've always had the suspicion that there are fish closer to me than I think,
yeah,
and I try to, when I look, when I feel like I'm going into a productive area, I even tape my my paddle, like certain parts of it, like where the grip tape is, but also where it goes into the holder, the paddle holder, so it'll be as quiet as possible. And on my metal catch board, I put tape to quiet that when I move it around on the
yeah.
boat.
Well,
Um,
you fish that skinny water too. That's very. You have to do that type of stuff in that skinny water too. You can spook fish so easy.
so easily. Yeah, but at a lake like Harris, where there isn't a lot of skinny water, where I'll focus
Yeah,
on a flat
yeah,
or an old channel or something, might be I'm fishing 3, 4, 8 feet of water.
yeah.
And man, I'm just a stickler about that. And hearing you say that kind of confirms something that I've been suspicious about for a long time. Um, just having that feeling that they're around, they're closer than you think. Um,
Definitely.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
So um, you won AOI last year. You won Winter Series. You had a spectacular, like, come from behind AOI victory. You got the Winter Series. This is our third Winter Series. It's the first time you won it, from what I saw,
Yeah.
right? So you had a good run here. Um, what does that do, like, to set you up for next year, if anything? Like, how are you looking at 2026 in terms of, do you just put everything behind you and move on, or do you build on stuff that you did?
I mean, momentum is definitely a key player. Obviously, I want to keep it rolling. It doesn't really necessarily. I'm always one event at a time, like one event at a time, because I don't. I mean, like I said, I fish one day a week, so I can't really. I mean, I'll go somewhere that I have a tournament a couple weeks in advance. You know what I mean? Like, but for the outlook of the year, not really. I'm just focused on one event each event. Um, and I mean, I'm not really concerned about angle of the year and stuff like that. But if it towards the end of the year, if I know I can do it, I mean, I'll get more serious about it. You know what I mean? But the winter series was kind of just fun for me. This is the first year that I've actually focused on largemouth in a long time, just in winter. Like I was catching fish in 38-degree water, and I have never done that.
Mm,
Um, which is that was a goal of mine, and I mean, it worked out. You know what I mean? I figured some things out that I wanted to figure out. But in the years past, I just kind of wanted to chase. I wanted to do something like epic, like go to James and catch a big bag of smallmouth, because I was on them. I just couldn't ever like land on them on tournament day.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was my
Yes,
goal. First winter series, I was like, I want to catch some 22, 23 inch smallmouth up there because me and my cousin were around them. It was just getting them to come up because they'll eat topwater in December up there, December and January. But it's so much timing involved in winter, and all it takes is one cold front, and not necessarily the cool down of the water is what I've noticed, but it just like the pressure and the wind, the lack of wind, or too much wind, or yeah, there's a lot of variables there. But the outlook of the year, I'm just focusing on each event at a time. But
All right. Let's
um,
get your opinion on some of these. Eric, can you put up the schedule graphic?
Yeah, I should be able to do that. Let's see.
Let's see what Brian thinks about these lakes.
All right, let's see here. There you go.
All right. Bellows, you know it, Brian?
oh yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I
I don't know anything about the lake, so help. I'm not going to fish the event, but talk to me like you're talking to someone who doesn't know anything about Bellows Lake, because I don't.
okay, Blues 20, well, let's say 15 years ago, about 15 years ago, before I caught a spotted bass in that lake. You could go out there in the middle of January in the worst conditions possible. The best was when it's snowing out there. Jerk bait, not so much well, I don't want to give too much information away, but
Yeah, it's fair. Fair. You
uh,
don't have to give it all.
that lake has changed a lot. It's predominantly spots. There are still good sized largemouth in that lake, but it is deep, and they get really, really deep. You'll catch fish out there in 70, 80 feet.
What?
Um, oh, yeah, easy. Maybe, yeah, 70, 80 feet in the middle of winter. Right now, that event, they'll definitely be pulling up shallow.
Yeah.
Um, but no forward facing sonar, which it'll it'll be good for some and not good for others. But yeah, it's a cool lake, very, very clear water, gin clear. There are some spots that are stained, but yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Any grass in that lake?
There's like a weird grass. I don't even know exactly. It's not hydrilla, but anything shallower than like 10 feet, if you throw anything on the bottom, it'll just choke your bait.
Hmm.
I think it came. I think it's the same stuff that came out of Mayo. I think
Okay.
guys that fish Mayo fish blues a lot, and I think it got in there off of boat props getting
Okay.
thrown in there. Yeah.
That berry it's got like a I forget the word. Dang it! It's got a strong scent to it, right?
Yes, it stinks.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
It won't take. I'd say to win that event, it'll take 91 inches, 92 inches. I'd say maybe upper 80s. It just depends on the weather, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the most foul weather, the most foul, windy, rainy, nasty weather, that lake will fire. If it's sunny, no wind, it'll be a tough bite.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Clear water will do that. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we haven't been to Jordan in a while. I think the last time we went there, Dontrell got his first win in
Yeah.
CKA. So that was 2024 in the summer, early
In the
summer.
summer, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we went back there for the TOC. It was pulled for the TOC that year after Florence trashed the whole lake. So that
Yeah.
was that was like an outlier. We fished anyway, but it was crazy. The water was like you could paddle up into the woods. It was insane.
Yeah, that was a
But
weird tournament.
I don't think we could say we've been to Jordan in the during the spawn. In I
Been a
don't.
minute.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah.
I want to.
CCKF went down there late March, a couple years ago.
Yeah, right. I
Yep.
remember that. Yeah. Um. I don't think we've been to Jordan during this time of year in at least 6 or 7 years.
You think so? It's been that long?
Yeah.
Hmm. I know one year we went. I don't think it was Florence. It was just a random rainstorm the day before the tournament, and like that night before the tournament, I think, and the lake was like so high, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like instantly, like logs everywhere. It was
Yeah.
trashed. It was crazy.
So, what are your thoughts about fishing Jordan during the spawn?
I don't have much experience on Jordan in the spawn. I have one down there in the spawn, pre-spawn phase. I'm more down there in the middle of summer. Like I love that. That is probably my favorite lake in North Carolina in the middle of June,
Hmm.
hands down. Best lake just for catching size off the. If you want to learn how to fish offshore, fish Jordan in June.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah, for sure.
This
It's,
next one, Eric, I think we have an announcement here for May 2nd, Yadkin Chain. What is it?
yeah, yeah, Yadkin Chain's gonna be interesting. It's there's a few things with it. One, we're gonna cut. This is gonna be the Carolina Classic, where we have the clubs, and also with that, we got Queen City joining in with that because they're also gonna be on the Yadkin Chain that day. And we also have the Bass, NC Bass Nation Championship there that same weekend. So we're gonna have a triple dip opportunity basically. So it's gonna be pretty crazy. And I did adjust the rules so everything's gonna match up with Queen City for the most part. So no one has that, so there's no issues there. The launch times, what else did we adjust? There was something else I had to adjust.
Pinching the tail.
Yeah, pinching the tail. We're gonna just do the same rules for that. That way, if you're fishing the bass thing, which has that rule, or Queen City, it's not you needing two pictures. So it'll just be like whatever. We can throw that aside for a day. So, but should be good. We're gonna have a good time down there. We're all gonna meet up at the Rock Outdoors, which sponsors Queen City's event. So we're gonna have a joint deal there, and we're gonna have Foothills, Port City, Queen City, and CKA all fishing together, having a good time. So no us v them, but although we all do that anyway, but we're doing it. We do it for fun. So just nothing's too serious as far as
I'll
that
be
goes.
curious as to what lake wins that event. They're all going to play. I think it'll be either be High Rock, Tuckertown, or Baden. I don't think Tiller will play in that.
Yeah, I don't know. Tillery's got some toads hidden in there.
It does. It does.
It's May 2nd. That's a hard one for me because I've done super well at High Rock in the beginning of May. I've done super well at in Tuckertown in the beginning of May.
It's going to be a top water event for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. There'll be some big bags, I think, on that one.
Yeah.
It's a lot
Um,
of anglers know those lakes and they know them pretty well from all the clubs, so it should be interesting.
Brian, the Burlington Bash. You like this event?
I do. I don't fish Burlington lakes very much. The only time I ever really fish them is when we visit them. I do love those lakes though. Huge bass in it. The how the lake sets up for me. I mean, we kind of mesh. Macintosh has burned me every single. I've never won on Macintosh. I'd love to win I'd like to win one event on Macintosh because I'm always like so close. I just can't get that one last bite. I'm always like 4 good ones and 1 dink, or just can't get that 5th one.
Macintosh drives me crazy like that. I've won there, but I've also had days where I have 2 20s and I can't get another bite. Like I have like a 12. And it's like, really, I have 2 good anchor fish and I can't find anything else? Like, come on.
Yeah. Love Grand Mebbin though. Grand Mebbin. I want to fish Kamak. Is it Kamak? Kamak?
Yep.
I've never fished there. I've never fished Stony Creek.
Yeah.
And I love Grand Mebbin. Grand Mebbin's an awesome lake.
Yeah,
Stony
I think it's
Creek's
where I
a
met
weird
you
one.
with Grand Mebbin.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep, I met him with a 7.5 or something in his hand.
Yeah.
The photo.
Yeah, that was a good day. I caught 2 over 7, and I think 1 to 8 something there, and then one day, and I thought for sure it was going to be on fire, and then I think I caught one fish in the tournament. It
Wow.
turned on me.
Yeah.
I've only ever fished that lake in a bass boat, so in my mind it's different. I made a mistake here. I skipped over Heiko.
Oh, did you?
Heiko, Brian, you got history there?
I do. I've won Heiko. I've only been down there with is it CCKF twice. I've been there twice. I won once, came in second the other time. Awesome lake. Um, don't fish it enough because I think what charge you $25 to get in. Well, for a while it was like $25 to get in there. So it's about it's about an hour and 45 minutes from my house. So it's a little bit of a haul, but the lake's awesome. A ton of fish in there. My gosh, there's so many bass in that lake.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good place to learn if you want to learn how to fish. I mean, that's a cool lake to fish.
It really is. I just saw yesterday in my timeline, it was 2018. We did an event there in late February. And have we been back since there? We've done one event there, I think, right?
I don't think so. We went there in February, and I think that's the last time we were there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they had a weird thing where they shut it down, and then it was
Yeah.
private, and then they got the $25 thing, so we were all holding off. And then I believe Dave Hart has been he worked with the people there to get kayak launching for a little bit less.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know if that's all around or just tournament day, but
Yeah.
I got a message out to him, and hopefully I'll hear from him soon because I want to get that all dialed in and make sure I know what's up because I've only fished that lake twice, and that was that year. I went pre-fished it, and then I went and fished the event, and I haven't been back. I fished after Bay once.
I should mention between Heiko and Burlington Bash, there will be the Real Heroes event at Norman this year. Did you fish it last year, Brian?
I did not. It was on my son's birthday, so that
Right.
wasn't gonna. I didn't get down
remember
there.
we talked. Yep.
I try to avoid that. Honestly, I try to avoid that lake in the summer, man. It's borderline dangerous. And I mean, yeah, you can tuck away, but you kind of got to get out there in the summer in order to catch a decent bag. And I'm not getting around wake boats, and I don't
Right.
know.
Yeah,
Great event. I'm not great cause and everything, but I got way too much money on my kayak to roll it and just dump everything on it.
Yeah, maybe we'll get into that conversation in a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree. The wake boats in the summertime, in a lot of these big lakes, that's why I throw Jordan and Falls, kind of trying to keep them away from the summer because it just gets crazy. It makes takes the fun out of it. It's even if the danger part is there, but we're all pretty safe and stuff. But I don't need, like you said, I don't need rods going over. I don't need.
Well, you'll have drunk boaters out there actually trying to get you wet too, and that's the thing that, I mean, I'm just not about that life.
Yeah, and I don't think any of us are. And as directors, we take that into consideration. As Eric was saying, if you look at this schedule, like up at Gaston, there's plenty of water to fish where you won't see a wake boat.
Yeah.
Burlington Bash, obviously smaller lakes, don't have as much traffic. Heiko, it can get busy, but there's that restrictive access. So I've noticed, at least when I fished there the last few times, it wasn't as busy as I was expecting it to be.
Yeah.
So let's look at Gaston here. You have history there? You ever been?
I've fished that lake one time and won down there. It was in a total different time of year. It was pre-spawn. From what I saw, it was cool lake. Grass and spotted bass. They get all big spots. They get in the grass too. I've never seen that before. Very neat lake. I've only seen one section of it, but I definitely want to get down there. I might take a couple of days off and get down there. Well, I might take that Friday off and go down there pre-fish and just kind of look around. It's a cool lake. It's just a little bit of a haul for me. It's about 2 hours, 20 minutes for me. So cool lake.
Yeah, I don't know it that well either. I have a limited history, but late August could be interesting.
Yeah.
Hopefully there's some water moving. Hopefully, we're not in a drought.
Right. Yeah.
That time of
Um,
year, you'll probably be weeding through a lot of spots to catch a big bag of largemouth. Or,
mhm.
I mean, you could get on some big spots down there. I've seen some really big spotted bass bags caught over the winter down there.
Yeah, there have been some huge ones, and I know a certain someone who fishes with the club who fishes Gaston a lot on his way to work
Yeah,
in Virginia, and he's sent me some really impressive pictures of fish, like really big spots in there.
yeah,
I don't know what it is about that lake, but the spots seem to be they got some tanks in there when it comes to
yeah,
spotted bass. Falls Lake in September. So notice the schedule. This is a different schedule for CKA. We stretch the season out.
yeah.
So Falls in September. I think the only time we've ever been there that time of year was for the first, or no, it was the second Tournament of Champions.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yep, in like
September,
2017.
I think September fish is tough. I mean, you're looking at what, upper 80s, maybe low 90s to win. But at the same time, you could still catch a big bag up there where you fish, Hank, up in the river too. So
Yeah, the river produces fish that time of year for sure, man. There's definitely some fish up there. But like I said
Yeah,
before, they
Edo
all got
River
washed
off
out. They
limits.
ain't coming back, so don't bother going there.
Okay.
yeah,
River off limits this time. DQ.
River's off limits. Yeah. Well,
I,
actually, that time of year, you do have to be mindful of one thing. I haven't looked at the duck season schedule for North Carolina, but they pump water out of the Flat River and they drop it like 3 feet.
yeah,
Like we went there once in October with CCKF, and you couldn't even access the river. We had to change launches because, and it was still like really shallow and dead water. There was no flow because they pumped the water out to fill up the woods for the ducks.
yeah. I've
Um,
been up that upper end's really neat too. Once
yeah,
like if the ramp that I put in, if you go up, I mean it looks good but in both directions,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's a little skinny.
That's going to be interesting depending on water levels for sure
Yeah,
throughout the lake. Um, and then Gate
Well,
City Classic in October.
yeah. That'll
I
be
don't.
go ahead.
What about it? Go ahead.
That'll be a good. Those lakes in fall for some reason they just fire. I mean, once that water cools down, they get on that bait hard,
Mhm.
and they're gorging. I mean, it's a good time.
Oh,
I like High Point Lakes.
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, that should be pretty good. Go. I know every time we go in, usually it's the end of September we're there, and it seems like the bite's hard.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's hit or miss. It's very hit or miss. But once it gets cold, like that, once that water starts dipping into the 60s, upper 60s, or low 70s, it starts to get pretty good. And what, October 24th, it'll be, I'd say, low 60s in the creeks. All the bait it'll be a good time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm thinking it should be interesting. I think there'll be a lot of fish on that one.
Yeah,
yeah. And I
And then
forgot to mention also, I skipped again because it's we don't have these events on here. We said Real Heroes in September, mid-September, before Falls, we'll have the Battle on the Border. I think that's going to be, is that the eighth or ninth year? Like I can't believe we're getting close to a decade for that.
yeah, it's crazy. I think it's the 8th, I think. Yeah.
And we have these amazing sponsors for payouts for that event last year, and great payouts, small crowd, like 30 plus or something. It
Yeah.
was
yeah,
a light turnout, but that event's going to be interesting a little later, or a little earlier rather in the year than a little later. There might be more water in that lake. Um, Change the dynamics of the approach. Well, cool. One last question, Brian.
yeah.
What lake do you hope we pull for the TOC?
Out of all of them, what day is the Tournament of Champions?
Well,
25th.
here's the thing. The TOC is the day after the Gate City Classic, and it's going to be a lake that's close. It's not going to necessarily be one on the list. It's a little different this year. We're mixing
Yeah,
it up.
Because
So it'll likely be either a city lake or maybe McIntosh or Randleman being in the mix.
yeah. Um,
um,
So
I wouldn't want to fish blues that time. Let's just say what the lake that I wouldn't want you to pick. Well, I'll do both. In October, one of the Yak and Chain Lakes fish really good in the fall.
I'll do one of those.
Yeah, and just because I don't want to drive so far, Gaston.
No, it won't be like that. It's going to be a Greensboro area lake because we're going to
Okay.
already be there.
Yeah,
for the
we're going to be in
classic.
Greensboro. So what'll happen is we're going to have a two-way deal. If you didn't make the TOC and you fished at the Gate City Classic, you're going to be eligible to fish the hourly big bass on other lakes. So we out of all the Gate City lakes, including McIntosh and Rentleman,
Yeah.
we'll pick one for the TOC guys, and the other guys can go anywhere they want just for that hourly big bass.
Yeah.
And both events will be no entry fee.
Yeah. Well, the schedule looks great. I do like the no forward facing sonar. Some events it just gets me back. I mean, obviously I utilize it, but I like getting back to not that I say that I don't get back to my roots, but it just it's good to just turn it off and just go fish. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because in a lot of events now, you really need it to kind of hang. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if it gets to the point where it's completely banned, I'm cool with it too. So either way, I'm gonna fish and I'm gonna compete. So, but I think y'all did a great job on the schedule. It looks good.
Thank you.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you, man. Eric worked really hard putting some of this together. He did a great job also with the graphics. And man, just happy to have you as an angler in the club, Bryan. You always compete hard and you always got interesting things to say, man. So thanks for coming on with us.
I appreciate y'all having me. Y'all have a good night and good luck this year.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate your
man.
upfront and honesty and sharing that info because not everybody will, and I understand when nobody will because I don't like to share everything I know.
Yeah,
Here,
I mean, I will say this for the record: I'm not much of an information guy, but I'll tell you what I'm catching them on. Maybe not so much specifics, but I mean, I'll give you some.
You'll throw a clue here and there.
Yeah.
All right, man. You have a good night, and I hope your kids are good, your wife's good and happy, and we'll see you at Bellows.
All right, life is good. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
All right, man.
Good night,
See
brother.
ya.
All right, bro.
All right, cool.
That was informative.
Yes, sir.
Dude's a hammer, man. He's got a lot to say, even if he's not telling us how he's catching them.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to be said for that. They call it institutional memory. Like you hang around long enough, you become just an automatic encyclopedia.
Right. Yeah, and it's no, he definitely has some good knowledge. He was a great fisherman well before he, got forward facing. So, being able to take that tool and get to the next level with that.
I remember when he came back to CKA about 7 years ago after taking some time off, doing boater stuff and family stuff. And he showed up in my messages, and we were both doing KBF onlines.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh man, Bryan's back. I was like, here comes trouble. I knew it from right away. I remembered him from the first season when he won his first event. And I was like, this guy is good. And back then he was like, young buck,
Yep. Now he's an old dad.
Well, back at the start, there was a group of anglers who were really tough to beat, and he beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's one of the anglers who's really tough to beat. And I'm always asking myself, who's going to step up, be that part of that next generation, the next Bryan, the next Will Lambert kind of.
Right. Yeah, because it's good to have those goals and stuff. You want to fish against good people. You don't want to be fishing against people that aren't that great. I mean, you're not doing anything for yourself. So to be able to, I could care less if Mike Iaconelli and whoever else that's on a kayak wants to come fish our events. I'd be like, come on, because that's great.
Man, absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, no, you want that because it's a good measuring stick. See where you're at.
Yeah.
It builds perseverance and character,
Right.
and you know, you learn things, exchanging information, talking, doc talk stuff.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
important for
Absolutely.
me early on. I remember just hanging around and listening to some of those guys, and realizing, okay, I've still got a lot to learn here. And
Yeah.
I did. And then I
Yeah.
also did some of my own things. I wasn't just learning what they did. I was like, well, if they're all over here, what can I do over here that'll benefit or work with my style and
Yeah.
techniques and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You adapt in relation to them. The If I'm going to get academic here for a second, there was a Swiss guy who wrote books on psychology in the mid 20th century. Influential guy. His name was Jean Piaget, and he wrote a book about childhood psychology that argues that children learn a lot through adversity.
Hmm.
That's how they figure out problem solving.
Right.
So, but also they learn through like failure and saying no, to them and stuff like that. So that they develop learning techniques that are kind of creative ways around problems or through the problems. And I've always felt that that applies to more than just kids. Like I feel as an adult, like, I've felt that way as a fisherman at times. Like, all right, here's a lake I've never fished. How am I going to figure out? And then I hear how like, oh, I'm catching them on this, I'm catching them on that, and I'd be like, yeah, I don't know how to do that, so I got to figure some other way to catch them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was
Yeah.
never
Someone's,
patient.
dangling minnows with their forward facing. I have to come up with, plan B because I ain't,
Yeah,
on my radar at the moment. So,
yeah. So that's where I started developing like really skinny water techniques and learning how to fish skinny water because I knew it was like wasn't as pressured, but it also matched my style in some way.
right.
And that was my way of problem solving for that. But it took a
Hmm.
long time, man. I had to like, I went through a lot of bad years where I was like, "Man, I can't catch fish. I'm not good. What am I doing?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, man, what do we got next?
Well, let's talk about this. There are other parts of the season. We got the forward-facing sonar, half and half, which is interesting.
Hmm.
It's split up kind of nice. So as far as the club's concerned, um, we're not going to be super strict about you need to rip your kayak apart, but yeah. So it's going to be honor system. Don't use it. Using it is cheating in those events, those 4 events. So yeah, don't do that. The other interesting thing we popped in was adding the 15-minute launch time, um, which happens on most events, but it actually doesn't happen on a couple. We got the Burlington Bash and the Gate City Classic, where you got city lakes, they open late. It's kind of a pain to everyone to launch, whatever. So for those, it's set up where it's launching lines in the same time like we did last year.
Yeah.
So it just makes more
So
sense. Just
anglers have to pay attention to the event description on Fishing Chaos.
yes, I got
Can
all
I
the
ask
events
you some?
uploaded. So
Can I ask you something about Fishing Chaos? Because you get in there sometimes, like you've been setting up some of the events.
mhm.
I noticed some changes. They made some changes to the website and the app.
Yeah, yeah, they did. If you look, normally you have the menu over here with everything on the left side.
Yeah.
When you click on the icon there, it'll actually bring up the menu here in the middle,
Right.
which is kind of different. And you notice your messages don't come up there because
Yep.
they're actually sitting down the bottom here.
Right. Yeah. I
There's your
noticed that,
inbox.
and I thought everything seemed to be just a touch faster. Like,
It is a little smoother. Yeah,
yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Is smoother. Like, it just seemed to just be like I wasn't waiting for the website to upload everything. That kind of like vibe. It was just like instant.
yeah.
And I was sitting there and I was like, I only had 2 bars, and then at one point I had 1 bar, and it didn't. And I'm not like blowing smoke here. Like I noticed positive change in the app while I was using it because I uploaded like a dozen or maybe about 10 fish on
Hmm.
Saturday, and I thought, huh, like there's some changes here. I need to sit down and look through this. So what
Yeah.
you're pointing out is definitely new. I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing that.
Yeah, that was definitely that was recent because I was confused for a minute when I first, I'm addicted to updating my stuff. Like as soon as I see a little red icon on my iPhone, I'm bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Which is can be bad. Yeah, the good thing with that, keeping up with it is these things come out, you get used to them before you need them, which is good. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely check that stuff out. Make sure you're familiar with the app if you never used it much. Because with that
Seem to go
the
pretty
Yatkin
smooth.
event, you're gonna need both. You're gonna need both Turnieks in this. So
Yeah.
yeah, get familiar with them. Play around with them. Even don't just wait until it's tournament day. Just go bang around in it, look at your profile, update it, check out tournaments. Do whatever you want to do, but
Yeah. Yeah.
get familiar.
Yeah.
'Cause
Totally.
you can message us direct in this. You can, there's a lot of things you can do. So
And there's also we're talking about doing the online series again for CKA, right?
right,
So that's a good way to practice.
yeah. So we got to figure that out. Yeah, I was on the fence on that one, but I did have some people interested still. So if you guys are interested, let us know because I know it faded off a little bit. It started out really good, then it faded off. So yeah, whatever we can do to keep that going. I'm sure some people love that monthly challenge. It gives you an excuse to get on the water, which is it's much better than watching YouTube videos. The more time you spend on the water, the better. So
Yeah. You said it. All right, cool, man.
yeah.
We gonna set up some guests soon and do some stuff in the coming weeks?
Yeah. So, you guys watching this, go ahead, like, subscribe, and stuff because we're going to do this. We're going to try to do it weekly and can't guarantee weekly, but we're going to try to do this weekly and bring some people on. If you want to talk to some people, tournament directors, yeah, why not? We're always working with other clubs. So if other club guys want to come on, talk about their club, that's cool. We could get Chad on here. We can get Steve Owens on here or whatever. Drew Gregory's got their events are coming in May, so
Yeah.
it would be good to have those guys on and
Yeah,
a lot of good events coming. Lots of
Right,
good
good,
events
man.
coming. So I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, whatever you guys want to see, let us know and we'll rock it out.
Hell yeah. All right, brother.
All right, man. Y'all have a good night and we'll see you next week.
Yeah. All right. Good night, man.
All right, man.
See you, buddy.
Bye.